I often hear people arguing that evolution is just a theory. Well, no surprise there, because that is exactly what it's called, the theory of evolution. But what do you mean by just a theory? Before making this video, I searched YouTube to see if anyone had done something similar before. And yeah, there are actually plenty of videos like this. There are really a lot of them. At first, I thought, well, if there are already so many videos on that topic, why should I make another one? But then I realized that there is nothing wrong with repeating something that someone has already said. I want to defend the truth, not originality, or as Seneca wrote, whatever is well said is mine. Moreover, I feel it is my duty to the truth to contribute to promoting the idea that the theory of evolution isn't just a theory in the way creationists often use the term. And in this video, I'll quickly explain why. Maybe some people have never heard of this issue, or they have, but aren't sure that they can confidently defend their opinion. Either way, I'm sure this video will find its audience, and if not, at least I'll sharpen my own views. So let's get started. The key issue lies in the definition of the term theory. As the philosophy student who has studied logic and participated in debates, I know that before starting a debate, we must first clarify our terms. If we don't, we can argue with each other forever about completely different things, even though we use the exact same words. Now that we've taken this simple rule into account, let's apply it to our example. Imagine you're in a debate and the topic is evolution just a theory? You argue that no, evolution is not just a theory, while your opponent argues that yes, it is, in fact, just a theory. The very first thing you need to do is define terms. Let's suppose that all the other words are clear to us, but as serious philosophers, we've decided to clarify the meaning of the term theory. You ask your opponent to provide their definition, and here is what they say. Theory is a hypothesis proposed as an explanation, hence a mere hypothesis, speculation, conjecture, an idea or set of ideas about something, an individual view or notion. Now, let me tell you one more thing that's super important in debates. You can actually reject your opponent's definition and bring up your own. So, in our hypothetical debate, we are going to disagree with their definition and suggest our own, and it goes like this. Theory is a scheme or system of ideas or statements held as an explanation or account of a group of facts or phenomena, a hypothesis that has been confirmed or established by observation or experiment and is propounded or accepted as accounting for the known facts, a statement of what are held to be the general laws, principles, or causes of something known or observed. So we have two different definitions, and let's test which one applies better to evolution. For our opponent's definition, our first definition, there is a much better word, and that's hypothesis. Everyone understands that a hypothesis is an assumption waiting to be confirmed or falsified. And as Richard Dawkins fairly noted, it would be great if no one had ever used the word theory in this sense, because as I already said, we have a better word, hypothesis. And we definitely cannot apply this definition of the word theory to the word evolution, because it has been confirmed or established by observation or experiment and is propounded or accepted as accounting for the known facts. It is a statement of what are held to be the general laws, principles, or causes of something known or observed. By the way, I'm quoting from the Dawkins book, The Greatest Show on Earth, just for you to know. Therefore, when we say the theory of evolution, we actually mean the second sense of the word theory. That's why the theory of evolution cannot be just a theory, because when we say just, we are using the word in the sense of a mere assumption or hypothesis, which are inaccurate words to describe something that has been confirmed by observation and experiments and is supported by established facts. Now, having said that, can we say that evolution is a fact? As you already know, our first step is to define fact. Fact is something that has really occurred or is actually the case, something certainly known to be of this character, hence, a particular truth known by actual observation or authentic testimony, as opposed to what is merely inferred or to a conjecture or fiction, a datum of experience as distinguished from the conclusions that may be based upon it. So, three key characteristics of a fact are: it is grounded in experience and observation. A fact is something that can be seen, heard, measured by instruments, or captured in an experience. It is an actual observation or authentic testimony. For example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. We can verify this by running an experiment. Just put a pot of water on a stove, heat it to 100 degrees, and observe what happens. You can do it over and over again, and the water will boil. It is objective. It doesn't matter whether I like that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius or not, or whether I believe it or not. Water will still boil at 100 degrees Celsius. It stands in contrast to fiction and assumption. A fact is what has already been confirmed. An assumption is what requires confirmation or falsification, and a fiction can neither be proven nor disproven. It lies outside the boundaries of the scientific method. Evolution is not a fiction because it can hypothetically be confirmed or falsified through experiments and observation. Evolution is not an assumption because an assumption is still waiting for confirmation or falsification. Evolution is a fact because it has been repeatedly confirmed through experiments and observations. Once we have repeatedly confirmed evolution through experiments and observations, it can be called objective. Much like if we were to put a pot of water on a stove heated to 100 degrees Celsius, we would see it boil at this exact temperature over and over again. In the exact same way, we confirm that all living things on Earth are related, which, put simply, is exactly what evolution is. From the perspective of philosophy and logic, a fact is still not a logically necessary, eternal, and ironclad truth. A small clarification needs to be made here. A logical necessity, for instance, 2 plus 2 equals 4, or that all triangles have 3 angles, cannot be questioned. But since we learn about facts through actual observation and authentic testimony, theoretically, they can be flawed or inaccurate. I hope you can draw your own conclusion from what's been said, and if so, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I could have missed something, got something wrong, or didn't phrase a point quite correctly. I encourage you not to stay silent about that either. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.